could have in many ways, but didn't. You know, we talk all the time about winning the turnover ratio, and obviously we lost that 3-0, which is always very, very difficult to overcome. You know, offensively, obviously we're off to a good start. At the end of the first half, I talked to the team about 2 lulls that we had. The overturned call on the interception. You know, they went down and scored after that, and it just felt as though there was a little bit of a lull. And then after our second score, you know, I felt as though we were pretty excited, and therefore there was a little bit of a lull after that. We were down 1-0, you know, with the turnover ratio there at the half, and you know, continued to move the ball, you know, pretty well, and they got their running game going. You know, it was warm, and I think both teams' offenses were wearing out the defense with going with tempo and even just running zone and zone read. And you know, I tip my hat to Old Dominion going on the road and coming in here, and you know, in the end, outside of the statistics and whatnot, you know, you just got to make the critical plays and to some degree will it to happen. And we were unable to do that, you know, today, and they were. But as hard as it is when you only get 12 to lose one, especially one that you could have had, you know, I'm still encouraged. There's no question. You know, no matter what happened today, you know, we're gonna continue to get better. You know, that's just, we are gonna be adamant and rabid and obsessed with getting better. And this football team responds to that. So again, it's a sad, somber locker room right now. But you know, whether we'd won on the last drive or with Dylan's 152-yard field goal, whatever that was, you know, tomorrow afternoon we get back together. We're gonna clean slate and keep getting better. So I don't know if you want to take questions now or have these guys.
Yeah, well, let's take questions from the student athletes. Dylan's kick was the longest in program history and is the first since Andrew Wellick in 2004, and Darius had a career highs as well. Questions for them?
Dylan, do you normally knock those down in practice?
Luckily, our special teams coordinator, Coach Keene and Coach Craig, give me a lot of opportunities in practice to hit the long field goals. And lately, yes, I've been having a good time making those long kicks. Yeah.
Is it any different in game? You know, you do practice, and you could probably put it on TV with bodies flying at you.
It is different. Once again, like luckily we practice live situations a lot, and I always try to put myself in practice in the game situation mentally, and that just helps prepare me even more for the game.
It's a big game from you. You know, can you talk about the game that you had on the ground?
Yeah, I think we came out with a certain attitude on offense. The O-line, you know, set the tone with their intensity. You know, we followed, and I made the most of my opportunities.
Darius, understanding what Coach just said, it stinks to lose 1 of 12, but a lot of positives, and I'm sure that turning the page will be relatively easy, knowing that these are fixable mistakes.
Yeah, a lot of positives. I mean, a big thing is our turnover ratio. You know, we lost that, you know, 3-0. So I mean, that could have lost us a game. There's little things. We're gonna watch the film tomorrow, and you know, we're gonna move on to week 2.
Darius, how did the mentality of the huddle change with the loss of Bell?
I mean, Reggie and Brogan, I mean, they rotate in practice every day. Obviously, you know, losing Reggie in the middle, you know, third quarter was a loss for us, especially with his legs. But I mean, you know, Brogan's going to pick it up, just like we do in practice. You know, we were ready.
Your backup Shaq, he had a lot of carries. What did you see from him today?
Shaq runs hard. Me and him are a great 1-2 punch. I mean, you know, we cheer each other on. We're excited for each other, and you know, we're going to run hard. I mean, I thought we kept a pretty good tempo. I didn't think that was that big of a deal. I know their defense looked tired, and that's what we worked all summer, you know, to get in shape to run at the tempo we wanted to run.
Was that emphasis there to start the game off, as you mentioned before, to pound the run and?
Yeah, we want to start fast. You know, if our running game's going, we're gonna, you know, ground and pound. You know.
Anything else for the student athletes?
I got one more for you guys. I know the ever-changing culture of college athletics and uniforms, and what about the ones you guys were wearing today? You can both comment on this if you like.
Well, Yeah, luckily, so today our uniforms were designed the way they were, like tribute to our track program, and for the most part, I feel like everyone was really excited to wear those, and they say look good and play good, and I think we looked really well today. So.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty sweet. We saw them. Our AD presented it to us. We were excited, and then we came out. We saw that they were, extra bright yellow pants, and we're like, hey, we're gonna look fast out there. So, I liked them.
Of Bell's injury and what happened on that play?
Yeah, I think it's his jaw, and I don't know. I know that they've taken him to go find out exactly what it is, but he lost. He got the wind knocked out of him the first time. The second time, he something with his jaw.
Do you think there might be a little less emphasis on running with him, knowing his injury history, and especially today, he took a lot of shots, particularly late shots. Would there be less running from him, or changing the offense?
Oh, we got to see if he's healthy. But we've got our third quarterback is a freshman. You're going to use two quarterbacks through the course of a season. I just believe that. So you got to have them both ready. You never want anybody to get hurt. But yeah, by design, we're not trying to have him run the ball too much. There's always a balance between. It's a weapon, and we're going to do everything that we can. He wants to do everything he can to win football games. But we don't want to have him running the ball an obsessive amount of times because he's not built like D-Jack.
Obviously you guys are without Pat O'Connor, the max sack leader from last year, but Jeremiah Harris, he had a big day. But what else did you see out of Luke McLean and Kwani Figueroa?
Yeah, we'll watch the film. Jeremiah is a year older, and we thought he was a good football player last year, and he's got a chance to be a great one. And the addition of Luke is a big deal. He's a great kid. He's a really good football player. He's just been with us, this summer. And then Kwani is a true freshman, and was playing a lot, in his first college football game. We were fortunate to get Mike Brown back, but just late in the week. So we've got, and Deshae and Derek played some, and Clay Dawson. So we just got to continue to improve the depth, on the D line. But we got to watch the film. Obviously they're rushing the football, and we've got to stop the run. That was primary part of our defensive game plan was to stop the run.
Given the turmoil on the defensive line, I thought the D-line did play pretty well. What happened on those two long runs by Laurie? Were guys out of position? Did they just get beat?
I think the long run after the penalty on the kick return, the one-play drive, we didn't get to a gap. And any time with a zone, if you're not gap sound, and it was, and I wasn't watching the D-line on that play, so to speak, but from what I understand, it was a nice play by the offensive lineman. We just didn't get to a gap.
So sticking with the defense, missed opportunities out there today. I believe it was 4 interceptions potentially. Just talk about that a little bit, particularly that last one about that.
Yeah, there's not anybody in the stadium or watching on TV that wanted to catch the ball more than Jason Beck. He's one of the most competitive people that I know. And again, I thought that one, we thought it was an interception, but they probably saw it clearly on the replay, and so just our response, to not getting the ball, I thought was one of our lulls. But our guys are trying to make plays, and I don't know what to tell you. We dropped a diving catch in the end zone there, at one point. I think KD was a great effort. He wants to catch that ball. Do we practice that? Are those guys on the jugs machine after every practice? Absolutely. I bet you Jason Beck has been dreaming about an interception to win the game, ever since he's been here. But it didn't end up happening. I don't know what to tell you. We talk about it a lot. We drill it. and I believe that it's all going to come to fruition. We just keep working at it.
A lot of coaches across the country look at the first game and the biggest gap you're going to make in progress is from game 1 to game 2. How optimistic are you, knowing the good things that you did in this game and the fixable things moving forward with this group?
Yeah, we made our last scrimmage our first game, so our greatest improvement, was from our scrimmage to our first game. But now that we're here, we are going to do. I mean, the thing is, tomorrow, when we get together, I'm a little bit curious, as to how our guys are going to be, but I'm pretty confident that it's going to be somewhat quiet still, but at the same time, not broken. I mean, there's no way in the world, a heartbreaking loss is going to break us. That's not going to happen. So I mean, there's a balance too between in the locker room. I'm not pounding lockers and breaking windows and and all that kind of stuff. I just believe in these guys, and we're going to continue to get better. I really believe that that's how our guys are wired, and it was a big third and 4 stop. We've talked about 3rd and 4 since the Sunday after Toledo last year. That's kind of the example that we've used of just believing in the critical situations that we're actually going to get it done. And that was a huge moment for us. But obviously in the course of the game, there's usually 5 to 6 plays that decide it. Not just one. So in some ways, it gets a little bit tougher maybe for some guys, to really believe deep down before it actually happens. But I don't know. There's no other way to believe other than when you can't see it and you don't have evidence. And so we're going to keep at it.
Talk about the difficulty in stopping Ray this afternoon. Once he got on a little bit of a roll, he was pretty tough to stop. Breaking runs.
Yeah, he's a good player. I mean, we didn't get to see any film with our quarterback, and just having a freshman quarterback, and then a running back who I think was the conference freshman of the year and whatnot, and just to settle him down and all that, we expected them to run the ball. That's why we, try to stop it. He's talented. There's no question. I mean, he'd probably be the first one to tell you that, it takes a lot more than just him. But, he made some guys miss, and, you probably had a better, look at it than I do. I don't know how high up you were, but it seemed to me that he usually made really good decisions and got, as much as he could on each run. That's a sign of a really good back.
Coach, about 8 minutes ago, you sent Dylan in 52-yarder. After he hits that, long for him and tying the record here at the program, what's going through your mind then? Do you feel like, all right, we've got this, he just hits this incredibly long field goal?
No. I mean, he was excited, and guys were excited, and again, and to some degree, that's part of the problem. Is that sometimes I tell the guys you have to almost fake being excited because you so quickly have to flush it. Again, after our second touchdown, I thought that was one of our lulls, and so what I said to Dylan was, "Hey, great kick. You're going to need to do it again." And that didn't end up being the case, but. No, I mean, just over the course of the game, I mean, thought there was a really good chance it was going to come down to the final seconds, right? Maybe the team who had the ball in their hands last, and we had that opportunity and didn't get it.
Is that all part of the evolution of a program? I mean, this is only your second year. Is that part of getting guys to not be too high? That kind of philosophy you're still somewhat instilling in these guys?
Yeah, I think that probably the more experienced you are, you got a chance of handling that better. I mean, success is just as difficult as defeat. It really is, and so you want the momentum and the energy from positive things, but to some degree, there's got to be a bar inside of you, and when it's sort of getting too much, you've got to be able to shut it down. I don't know how else to say it. But yeah, we're trying to skip steps in the evolution, but just because we're hoping to and wanting to doesn't mean that, we'll be able to. But, we didn't want to be in a close game and then come up short. We wanted to finish it off, and I believe we can though. I mean, I really do. I walk off the field and I think we have a lot to work with.
Coach, in the second quarter, D-Jack had punched in 2 earlier touchdowns. You're down at the goal line. You
Yeah.
have to go with Jack Van and leave D-Jack on the bench. Is that something retrospect? You think maybe your bigger senior back might have been a better choice to punch that in?
No, that thought didn't even cross my mind. I think if you're talking about when we kicked a field goal,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think that maybe the question that people would ask is, you go 90 whatever yards we went, and elect to kick a field goal, and I've got the same emotions that everybody else has. You want to do that, but I'd rather go up 2 scores at that point. Is the decision that I made. So, but you're going to see. I know you guys aren't familiar with Shaq Van, but Shaq Van's phenomenal, as is D-Jack, and so we've got, they're both going to have their strengths and whatnot, but it was not the run, on that 3rd down stop that was the issue. I believe what happened that they slanted and we missed it, and when you've got a defensive lineman squared up on you right there. I mean, Shaq is a powerful runner, as is D-Jack. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, but yeah, that's. Of course you're going to wonder, hey, you score right there. Does it change the whole course of the game? That's what I'll live with tonight, and deal with that. But I had my head about me when I made that decision. So.
How often does Brogan take first team reps in practice?
Gosh, I don't know the exact percentage. In camp, I mean, it would, we charted every throw and how much, it's almost equal reps, but not with the first group, because we weren't going to, we're always, competing, and we're always going to play the best players. And we have 2 quarterbacks that have grown tremendously and are both very, very good. And I've known all along, didn't know it was going to be in the first game, that we're going to use both of those guys. But Brogan's played with the first team. And the way that you do wide receivers, it's not like this cut and dry. It's not like just this first group and second group. Those guys, like in Skelly and stuff, are just rotating in, all the time. And so, that's not been an issue.
And how do you think Cole Gardner did on, his first debut as a left tackle for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to watch it, but I mean, without watching it, I can just tell you that I'm sure he did really, really good. I mean, we think he's going to be a phenomenal tackle, and absolutely love that kid. I mean, he's made of all the right stuff. We made the decision in early June, for him to go from tight end to tackle, and he's put on some significant, good weight. And he's totally bought into that. I mean, it was really, ultimately, we asked him what he thought about doing it. It wasn't a directive by any means. And yeah, I love him, and he's going to be great.
Coach, did you feel like the opposing defense changed much in that 4th quarter with the changing quarterback? Did you feel like they changed? I mean, not having that mobile quarterback necessarily to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely, we didn't do a whole lot of, gun zone read, with Brogan, but I think that was just sort of the nature of the time of the game more than anything else. They definitely had planned to play the quarterback in the gun zone read. I mean, we were handing the ball off a lot more than he was keeping it, of course. The thing is that, Brogan can run. I mean, Brogan's a really good athlete. I mean, he really is. And so, yeah, I mean, do we change some in terms of play calling? I'd say a little bit. I haven't talked to Coach DeBoer about that, but I don't think that his mindset changed a whole bunch with Brogan coming in. I mean, if you come to our practices, those guys are both playing a lot. It's not like we have this first string guy and the other guy's got his helmet off and it's, we got extra time at the end of a period. He comes in and takes reps. That's not how we do it. They're both ready to go.
Coach, next week, looking ahead, Wyoming has a unique challenge in that it's like altitude 7,200. You're going to see the signs all over the place. Any worries about conditioning or how the team might respond in that atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, there's school starts next week, so we can't take off for Wyoming on Tuesday and acclimate. I mean, every school in America that goes to the Rockies has to deal with that. I don't know if Pikes Peak's acclimatization for our seniors is going to last from May. But, you know, I actually did talk to a head coach from California who played them and asked him that, and he said that it didn't affect them. You know, we'll see. But we'll get there as early as we can on Friday and make sure we're hydrating and whatnot, and we'll have to deal with it. So, but yeah, I think, I might be wrong, but I think it might be the highest stadium in the country, yeah. So.
Anything else for Coach Creighton?
Coach, last one about Dylan. I think he was 8 of 12 last year. He's hit his first 2 and hit the long one today. What kind of growth have you seen in him from even last year to this year?
He is, you know, one of the things I do, and our working field goal is just get a clock out and just you know, the operation time, right, from snap to hold to kick and whatnot. I don't even time him anymore. I mean, I stopped doing that a couple of weeks ago just because he is just, and I mean this in every positive way, he's just a machine. I mean, he's just very, very confident. He's so level-headed. He works so hard at his craft. I mean, he's really talented, but he's also just so committed to being good. And he's just, I don't know if it's called in a zone. To me, a zone sort of has a beginning and an end. I think it's just his maturation process. You know, that doesn't mean that he's going to be, you know, 36 of 36 with, you know, 4 over 50 yards and all that stuff. But he's money. I mean, it's kind of, and he's a man. You know, Coach Keenan and I just said, "What do you think? You know, are you good?" And he's like, "Yeah." So let's go. And honestly, he didn't get all of that. And we talked about that on the drive over here. I mean, he hit it good, but he didn't hit it perfect. He hit it good. It was 52 yards, and he said it was dead straight. But it wasn't as far as he can kick. So.
Does that change going forward, your confidence in your 50 yards, 5 yards to go to him versus trying to go for it, or still kind of same mentality as coach?
Yeah, I mean, we go into every game, you know, knowing sort of what his range is, and then, you know, obviously in pregame, you know, it's one of the things Coach Keenan and I talk about is if there's wind or, you know, just going towards the convo, it's this yard line. Going towards the team building, it's this yard line. And but he's one of those guys where you can, you know, he's not going to say, "Yeah, I'm going to make it." You know, no matter, you know, he's going to be that. And if he feels as though he can hit it, then a lot of the time we're going to believe him. You know, so.
Thank you all for coming today.